Episode 9 is set to include many different emotional moments from start to finish of this film by writer and director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, I will say the one thing that a lot of fans are really curious about when it comes to this movie is exactly how the legacy characters will be used in this film, as well as the sequel trilogy characters by J.J. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc., one of which has all to do with a moment between Luke Skywalker, Leia, and Han Solo. Specifically, a description of both Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia in front of the Millennium Falcon. It's described that both Luke and Leia are hugging each other, while Han Solo is to the side with Chewbacca. It's described as a moment between all three characters, with Luke informing Han and Leia about what happened to Ben and what he did to his Jedi Temple. It's said to be an emotional moment that will be made possible by new scenes filmed by Mark Hamill as Luke for Episode 9, while using cutscenes between, of course, Hamill and Fisher from both The Last Jedi, as well as unused footage of Han Solo and Chewbacca from Episode 7. It's also described that R2-D2 is next to Luke and leaves on the Falcon with Han, Leia, and Chewie. The general message of the scene for the audience is Luke expressing how he felt responsible for what happened and to create a bigger effect on Han Solo's story to both Finn and Rey about Luke Skywalker in Star Wars Episode 7. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this that really do sound fantastic by JJ, because we do know that he's trying to make Episode 7 and of course Episode 8 a whole lot more, I guess you could say, emotional to the viewer by really including these scenes into Episode 9. So the famous piece of dialogue by Han Solo in Episode 7 is when he says, Luke felt responsible, he just walked away from everything. A young apprentice destroyed it all. He talked briefly about Luke Skywalker's actual experience. And a lot of people have been always wondering, how did Han Solo really know about what happened at Luke's Jedi Temple? Now, in this scenario, it's Luke Skywalker himself informing both Han and Leia about what happened to his temple, his students, and of course the remaining students that were actually left alive, as well as Ben Solo, Leia's son. And this would also reflect on the dialogue that was used in Episode 8, where Luke says, Leia blames Snoke, but it was me. I failed, because I was Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master, a legend. That whole entire piece of dialogue from that movie, you can really see how JJ is just trying to add more to it all, visually speaking. He's really trying to use a lot of visual narrative, I should say, when it comes to those pieces of dialogue, those stories by Luke and Han about what happened at Luke's Jedi Temple. So with that being said, how are they necessarily going to do this? Well, they're going to use unused footage from Episode 7 and Episode 8, and we'll be incorporating that into new footage by Mark Hamill portraying the character of Skywalker in Episode 9, which honestly I think is pretty impressive. Where the technology is right now, there really is a lot of things that they could really do by meshing the footage together simultaneously and seamlessly, where you really can't even tell it's edited. I think is going to be a difficult task for sure, but I think that they're going to be able to get it done in post-production quite effortless. I think it's going to be quite effortless because a lot of people are working on this movie. There's a ton of people in the CGI department, people who work in computer graphics on these major motion pictures. A lot of people, I'm talking like dozens upon dozens of people, work on these films. So this can be done. It does take time, but it's a very tedious, part of the actual job in developing a film like this. So if they can get it right and make it seamless to the point where it looks like it was shot yesterday, I think that's when it's really going to resonate with fans and when they see it as something that was actually shot just recently. But anyways, guys, what do you think about this? Because this would also explain as to why R2-D2 is not with Luke Skywalker on Ahch-To. It would show us a visual moment in which R2 leaves with Han, Leia, and Chewie on board of the Falcon before it leaves wherever Luke Skywalker and everyone else is. I really do believe that J.J. Abrams for this movie is just trying to fix one of the biggest mistakes in the sequel trilogy, and that is that we never got the real reunion between the three legacy characters from the original trilogy: Luke, Han and Leia, and even throwing Chewbacca and R2-D2 into the mix just makes it even all the more better. So I think J.J. Abrams is really trying to do something. I think he realizes the backlash that happened after The Last Jedi. I mean, who couldn't, right? And I think with that being said, he's really trying to make things right. He's really trying to do something different in a sense, where a lot of fans can just enjoy it all and look back at The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi in a somewhat, a somewhat different way. I'm not quite sure how significant it's really going to change our opinions or our views on episodes 7 and 8, but I think it will absolutely alter how we actually see certain scenes in the movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.